Hey there, it's Mark Freeley, the North Shore Injury Lawyer, and today I just wanted to go over a standard automobile liability policy. The standard car insurance policy that we all have on our cars. We need car insurance to put them on the road, but we may not look at them as carefully as we should. Do you know what your coverages are? A lot of times I ask clients and they have no idea. Sometimes I ask fellow lawyers and they don't know. So I'm always talking to friends and family, neighbors about what type of insurance you should have on your car policy. And you want to make sure that you review your policy before an accident happens. The worst feeling in the world is to get into a bad accident and then call up your insurance company and find out you did not have the insurance that you needed to protect yourself. So let's start from the beginning. The first part on a policy is the liability coverage. That's the part of the policy that covers you for your mistakes. So if you're driving or anyone in your family is driving one of your cars and they get into an accident that they cause, and then the other person is injured and brings a lawsuit against you, that's where the liability coverage comes in, and your insurance company will provide you lawyers free of charge to defend you. That's part of your premium, so you won't have to come out of pocket for a lawyer to defend you in a lawsuit. But your insurance company is only going to cover the damages up to the amount of your liability limits. So the least you have to have is $25,000. Certainly, most people, if they're injured in an accident, are going to be seeking more than 25,000. And if you really hurt somebody, you better make sure that you've got the right type of coverage. So 25,000 is not enough. The next step up is 50. I don't recommend that. The next step up is 100. That should be the bare minimum, and I personally wouldn't drive a car with only $100,000 of liability. You really want to get into 250 range, $250,000, and better yet, go to a $500,000 policy on liability limits. That's going to give you peace of mind. If you own a home, you can also get an umbrella policy, a homeowner's umbrella, for $1 million or more, and have that on top of that 500, and that'll give you a lot of peace of mind and restful nights. Part of the liability policy is the spousal liability coverage. So if you are married, you definitely have to have the spousal liability coverage. That protects you as a spouse if you're a passenger and your spouse is driving and causes the accident. Without that coverage, you can't put a bodily injury claim against your own policy, and you'd be out of luck. So if let's say your husband's driving and gets distracted and hits someone in the rear and the airbag deploys, you put your hands out and it snaps your wrist. I've had this on several occasions for clients. If you don't have that spousal liability coverage, yes, your medical bills will get paid through the no fault or the personal injury protection part of the policy, which I'll go over. But that's it. You will not be eligible to get any type of settlement for your pain and suffering. So really important, get the spousal liability coverage, and it's very cheap. The next part of the policy would be the property damage policy or property damage coverage, and that's going to cover you for your car causing any type of damage to other people's cars or to other types of property, fences, houses, buildings, you name it, whatever type of damage that your vehicle causes, it'll cover that. The least that you can have on that is 10,000. You should have 100,000 on that with the cost of today's cars. And if you cause a multi-car pileup, some cars alone are worth 100,000. So at least have 100. I increased mine to 250 only because the cost of repairs today and the value of cars today, and it was so small of an increase from 100,000 to 250,000 on property damage that it was well worth getting that extra coverage. Let's talk about the personal injury protection part of your policy, which is no fault benefits. That covers all of your medical expenses, your medical bills, and your loss of wages, loss of earnings when you're involved in an accident. $50,000 is the New York State minimum mandatory. You can purchase up to $175,000 in benefits, including instead of the mandatory $2,000 a week in the wage loss, you can purchase up to $4,000 a week. Actually, it's a month. So $2,000 a month is the mandatory minimum. You can purchase up to the $4,000 a month in no fault benefits. So I encourage everybody to get the maximum no fault benefits. The next part of the policy is the comprehensive. That covers any type of damage that's not from a collision. Someone key scratches your car or for your glass, that's going to cover that. And then there's the collision coverage, which covers your vehicle for any damage in an accident. So even if you cause the accident and you total your car, you're going to get paid for it. If you cause the accident and the car is damaged, your company will pay to get it fixed. If another car hits your car and damages it, and they don't have any coverage, then you'll put your collision claim in. And even if they do have the coverage, often it's much quicker for you to put your collision claim in, get your car back on the road, and then have your insurance company go after the other person's insurance company to get paid back. So that's on the collision coverage. And depending on, how old your car is, determines whether or not you still want to have collision coverage on it. But if your car has substantial value, it's a good idea. And then we get really to one of the most important parts of your policy, which is the supplemental uninsured, underinsured. So on every policy, we have 25/50 mandatory of uninsured motorist benefits. So if you get hit by someone that has no insurance, that'll step into their shoes and pay you up to $25,000 for your injuries. Obviously, you want to protect yourself and your family for as much as you're protecting other people. So you want to match this coverage to your liability coverage. And this supplemental uninsured motorist coverage steps into the shoes of someone that has no insurance, someone that causes an accident, causes injuries to you. If they have no insurance, or if they have a small policy that's not sufficient to cover you for the extent of your injuries. So your supplemental uninsured motorist coverage will step into the shoes, and you'll be able to get more coverage through your own policy if you're injured. So for example, if the person that caused the accident only had a $25,000 policy, and you had $500,000 of supplemental uninsured motorist coverage, and let's say you broke some bones or you had to have a surgery, you can get the $25,000 from the other person's policy offered to you, and then you can put an uninsured, underinsured claim in against your own policy for up to that $500,000. What gets deducted from the $500 is whatever you get from the car that caused the accident. So if there was $25,000 you got and you had $500,000, there's $475,000 remaining in your supplemental uninsured motorist coverage. So the best thing to do is check your insurance policy. I offer completely free reviews of your insurance policy. You can text me a picture of it. You can email it to me at northshoreinjurylawyer@gmail.com. You can snap a picture of it and text it to me to 631-495-9435, and you can call me and we'll go over your policy and I'll make recommendations for you. And this way you know that if and when something happens, that you'll be in the right position and have the right coverage. Keep it safe out there.